Still on sum of geometric progression, we'll be looking at this example for today or for this video. So if the second and fourth terms of a geometric progression are 8 and 32 respectively, what is the sum of the first four terms? Remember our formula, we'll have to get two items, which are the common ratio and the first term, to be able to solve with those things given to us. So this is our formula, and then we substitute for the value of the second term and the fourth term, and then solve them simultaneously. And then cancels our a, we have our r3 over r, we have 32 over 8, and when you cancel you have r square equals to 5, and when you take the square root of both sides you have r to be 2. Then we proceed. So now we have our r to be 2. We're going to look for the a. So pick any of the equation and start solving. So we're using the second term, which is ar equals to 8, and then we'll substitute for the value of common ratio, which is the r, and then we have 2a equals to 8, divide both side by 2, you have a to be 4. Now the main question for today, we are asked to find the sum of the geometric progression. Okay, the sum of the geometric progression has two formulas, so you need to take note of that. The first formula is when the common ratio is less than 1, and then the second one is when the common ratio is greater than 1. So for the formula for common ratio less than 1, we have it as Sn equals first term, open bracket, 1 minus r to the power of n, and then we have 1 minus r. Then for the other one, which is common ratio greater than 1, we have it as a, open bracket, r raised to the power n minus 1 all over r minus 1. Now we will pick from those two formulas and solve. So for this question, our common ratio, remember our common ratio is 2, so that means we're going with the second formula, which is common ratio greater than 1. So that's what I'm substituting in the video as shown. So remember, we're trying to get the sum of the first four terms. So that's why we have it as S4 equals, remember our A is 4, so we substituted that, our common ratio is 2, and the n on top of the common ratio, the n power, is 4 because that's the first four terms we're asked to look for. So 4 open bracket, 2 raised to the power 4 gives us 16 minus 1 all over 2 minus 1 will give us 1. So we have 4 open bracket 15, and when you multiply you have 60. So example 2, if the second term and the fifth terms of a GP are minus 6 and 48 respectively, find the sum of the first four terms. Put your formula just exactly how we solved the first one. We are going to substitute the values. Now the value for the second term is AR, or the formula for the second term is AR, and the formula for the fifth term is AR to the power of 4. Now our second term is minus 6 and our fifth term is 48. So like I said, solve them simultaneously, that is, solve them the same time. 48 minus 6, 48 all over minus 6 equals to AR to the power of 4 all over AR. Now 6 into 48 goes 8 times, and 6 into 6 is 1. A cancels A, and R into R raised to the power of 4 gives us R to the power of 3. So we find the cube root of both sides. Taking the cube root of both sides, we'll have our R to be minus 2. Why? Because minus 2 in 3 places Minus 2 multiplying itself in 3 places gives us minus 8. So when you punch your calculator, you definitely get that. So now we want to proceed to getting the first term. So use any of the equation. I'm going with the second equation, or the first equation, sorry. So AR equals to minus 6, and we substitute for the value of the common ratio, and you divide both sides by minus 2, you have 3. So your A is equals to 3. Now let's look for the sum. Let's look for the sum of the first 4 terms as well in this question. So remember our common ratio, we had that it is minus 2. So which means we're going with the first formula, remember, where r is less than 1. Hope you know that minus 2 is less than 1. So that's the formula we have just written. Now we substitute for the value of the first term. The first term we got as 3 and the common ratio as minus 2, and then the number of terms is 4. So all over 1 minus minus 2. Now 3 open bracket minus 1 minus 2 to the power of 4. That will give us 16. That will give us a positive 16. So we have it as, I'm just trying to expatiate so you understand, minus times minus is plus, plus times minus is minus, and minus times minus is plus. So I'm just trying to make it more clear. So 3 open bracket minus 15 over 3, the 3 cancels, and then we have minus 15. So therefore, sum of the first 4 terms is minus 15. As simple as ABC.